Hi, everybody. Tim Emerson of Kuan Yin Healing. I want to say a few things about the importance of collaboration. This is something haven't told very many people. Um, you know, uh, I went out once with somebody who's extremely unique and special, and as it never happened before, I could feel her energy, like a vibration, like a column. And, when we had this very intense communication, even though she lives 90 minutes away, is, I would know, right before I got an email or if she was thinking, talking, this kind of thing. What's interesting about this, though, is that uh, when that relationship had gone its way, um, that feeling persisted. So for a while, we still had a connection, sure, but in time, that was no longer the case. She'd moved on to other things, certainly, and and I was left wondering, what is it that I'm feeling? And to shorten this story considerably, I realized that this was connection to source, divine energy, whatever you want to call it. That when we're, that intensely connected and in love with somebody, we are seeing their very, very highest self, and their very highest self is source. And so I started paying attention to that, and often it was like it can be it's not unpleasant, but it can be uncomfortable. And why is that? When I would feel this connection, and yet it was like um, not always the most pleasant sensation. And I realized that what was happening is I was indeed feeling the connection, but along with that connection, any doubts, fears, hesitations I was bringing with me. And it really started to make me intensely aware of the multitudes of ways that I, as we all do, get in my own way. And really kind of alerts me so I could stop and go, even if I'm not seeing it, I can stop and go, what's going on? And it's kind of a really interesting barometer. And I mentioned that as an entry into collaboration, as a lot of us have talked about evolving into spiritual growth, and as if this were some sort of individual achievement. And the reality is, as we go up planes of existence, right, from physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and on the Atma plane, exactly the opposite happens. We become connected. We are part of all. Anything you've ever read, fictional accounts or channeled accounts, anything about the Oversoul, it's not a person, it's a collection of souls as one entity. And this is what we are at higher levels. And so as we grow and evolve, as we build in any way, as we grow in any way, we are becoming less of an individual. And it's extraordinarily important to make this journey with other people, to get help, to help other people, to be consciously aware that even when we are doing and thinking something that seems to us new and cutting edge and unique, many people all over are doing, if not the same thing, very similar things for very similar reasons, because they are different parts, different tentacles, different arms, different fingers, however we want to see that, of the same energy, of the same entity that you are. We have to embrace this. And as we evolve, that becomes ever more important. Biologist Bruce Lipton, who's done all this incredible work with consciousness and cells and the biology of that, points out that evolution is always apart from smaller things into larger things. So, atoms into molecules, molecules into um, simple organisms into more complex organisms, organisms into society. We're evolving into a larger paradigm. So it is absolutely crucial that we not follow our paths by ourselves. Certainly, alone time reflection, this is important. But to proceed without help, without collaboration, without being part of a larger team, is simply going against what is true and against where we are evolving. So, even though you've tried a number of things yourself, even though you're spiritually aware, you've been to yoga class, you've done Tai Chi, you've done the seminars, you've read the books, you know this stuff, right? but you're not achieving the results you want. And this is why. You have many, many of the pieces, but you can't do all of it by yourself. You simply can't. It's just not how it works. We are, in fact, created to have to go into partnership. You know, myth after story starts with us together and then scattered, and our job is to grow back. I strongly encourage you to become part of the community. This is why I created the Kuan Yin Journey. This is why I created the Kuan Yin Path and the 6 days teleseminars to let people get in and get started on this. It is crucially important that we all get help, that we work forward as a community. This is where real magic lies. Okay? Thank you. Namaste.